Time now for an in-depth look at the market news this afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you for making time today.
Good afternoon.
Well, stocks on Wall Street bounced back overnight on the new stimulus measures and earnings coming out. Not to mention we have these rumors of a vaccine getting close to being finished. What's the story in the global markets?
Yes, if you look at the U.S. market, it has rebounded nicely. The Dow Jones added about 0.4%. S&P rose about 0.7%. And particularly the NASDAQ jumped 1.7%. It's been quite a while that we saw a growth stock related or growth related index rising that much. Overall, the news of possible additional policy measures to boost the economy has helped the overall market trend. If you look at the stimulus negotiation, it is talked about another $1 trillion stimulus plan coming up from the Republicans, and Democrats have given much bigger size. But in any case, they will come out with measures to boost the economy. However, the Republican also proposed cutting unemployment benefits to U.S. $200 weekly from U.S. $600 until states are able to create a system that would provide 70% of laid-off workers' previous pay up to the state set cap. But in any case, overall, it's been news that we've been waiting for, and clearly that would help out the economic recovery that we are seeing in U.S. All in all, this benefited global economy, global equity market, and today most of the Asian market as well as European market has recovered. All in all, we are looking at the rebound phase of the recent correction that we saw in the last 1 week or so. And all depends on these policy measures that will help out the economic recovery in a global scale.
Korean stocks were higher again today, the Kospi especially by well over 1%. What's happening in the Korean market?
Yes, it's quite confusing in a sense because in the past we've seen foreign investors were net sellers while the domestic retail investors were the major net buyers, and that has resulted into various other stocks other than Samsung Electronics rising. But today, we saw Korean equity market rising sharply. Kospi was up 1.76% and Kosdaq was up 0.8%. But most of that rise was driven by Samsung Electronics rising by 5.4% that we haven't seen in a while. And foreign investors were net buyer of 1.3 trillion won worth of Korean equities. And out of that, about 900 billion was buying of Samsung Electronics. So clearly there's a sentiment shift that's happening at this point in time. We've been saying that Korean equity market will be quite strong over the next 6 to 12 months because continuation of the momentum that we're seeing, the economic growth rate as well as the earnings will be bottoming out in second quarter and then recovering to third quarter and the fourth quarter as the government boosting measures does work and also economy does recover from these additional boosting measures and from the fiscal side as well as the monetary policy side. So having said that, we do think that Korean equity will continue to rise. And even so, right now, the Korean won seems to be stabilizing as well. And if that's the case, then the foreign investors' net purchase or the appetite for buying Korean equity should rise in the future.
As you say, as you referenced, the U.S. dollar index has been falling steadily over the past month or so. Gold taking off, approaching $2,000 an ounce. Oil holding steady, though, at right around $40. What's your outlook for oil and these safe haven assets like dollars and gold?
Right. I've been saying that the dollar should be weakening over the period, but I have said that it will not be weakened to the level that we saw in 2008 financial crisis, where the dollar went down to below 80, as low as low 70s index-wise. We think that right now the dollar has hit about 93 low end of it, and recently just recovering slightly to about 94 territories. And we think that that is probably a reasonable band. We've been saying that dollar should be somewhere between 93 to 100 range bound. Now, having said that, we saw the shift in the commodity price changes. We saw a very strong the gold prices, but today it's been correcting a bit. It's down about 0.9%. And in terms of the oil price, also it's kind of stabilizing, and it's down right now. The futures market is down about 0.36%. This is exact opposite of what's been happening in the last several days, where dollar weakness and then the commodity price rise, the oil price, the gold price rising rapidly. I think that right now the trend is not something that will change in the future. It's just that it might taking some breather. And the technical corrections. But we think, though, overall in the future, dollar should remain where we are, maybe to the little bit of a downside. And also the oil price as well as gold price will be rising. But we think that the gold price rising should be much stronger than the oil price because there's a change in the paradigm shift on both sides. All in all, we think that the current liquidity condition in the global market is the main driver for these type of changes, volatility that we're seeing in the commodity area.
Got it. All right, Mr. Yu, thanks so much for sharing your insights today. We always appreciate it.
Thank you very much.